A museum ship, or sometimes memorial ship, is a ship that has been preserved and converted into a museum open to the public, for educational and memorial purposes. Some are also used for training and recruitment purposes, a use found mostly with the small number of museum ships that are still operational, i.e., capable of regular movement. There are several hundred museum ships around the world, with around 175 of them organized in the Historic Naval Ships Association, though there are also many non-naval museum ships as well, from general merchant ships to tugs and light ships. Many, if not in most, museum ships are also associated with the Maritime Museum. Some examples. Significance. Despite the long history of sea travel, the ravages of the elements and the expensive maintenance result in the eventual destruction of nearly all ships ever built, are often by sinking, usually by being broken up and sold for scrap. Only a few survive, sometimes because of historical significance, but more often due to luck and circumstance. Since an old ship tied up at dockside, without attention, still decays and eventually sinks. The practice of recent years has been to form some sort of preservation society, solicit donations from governments or private individuals, organize volunteer labor from the enthusiasts, and open the restored ship to visitors, usually for a fee. The restoration and maintenance of museum ships presents problems for historians who are asked for advice, and the results periodically generate some controversy. For instance, the rigging of sailing ships has almost never survived, and so the rigging plan must be reconstructed from various sources. Studying the ships also allows historians to analyze how life on and operation of the ships took place. Numerous scientific papers have been written on ship restoration and maintenance, and international conferences are held discussing the latest developments. Some years ago, the Barcelona Charter was signed by a variety of international owner organizations of traditional vessels, and provides certain accepted minimum criteria for the restoration and operation of traditional watercraft still in operation. Another consideration is the distinction between a real museum ship and a ship replica. As repairs accumulate over time, less and less of the ship is of the original materials, and the lack of old parts may lead to the use of modern shortcuts. Visitors without historical background are also often unable to distinguish between a historical museum ship and a ship replica, which may serve solely as a tourist attraction. Museum usage. Typically the visitor enters via gangplank, wanders around on the deck, then goes below, usually using the original stairways, giving a sense of how the crew got around. The interior features restored but inactivated equipment, enhanced with mementos including old photographs, explanatory displays, pages from the ship's logs, menus, and the like. Some add recorded sound effects, or audio tours or video displays to enhance the experience. In some cases the ship's radio room has been brought back into use, with volunteers operating amateur radio equipment. Often the call sign assigned is a variation on the original identification of the ship. For example, the submarine US Cobia, which had the call NBQV, is now on the air as NB9QV. The World War II submarine US Pampanito, berthed at the San Francisco Maritime National Historical Park, had the wartime call NJVT and is now on the air as NJ6VT. In other cases, such as the US Missouri, a distinctive call is used. This radio work not only helps restore part of the vessel, but provides worldwide publicity for the museum ship. A number of the larger museum ships have begun to offer hosting for weddings, meetings, and other events, sleepovers, and on a few ships still seaworthy cruises. In the United States, this includes the US Constitution's annual turnaround, when the old ship is towed out into the harbor and brought back in facing the other way, so as to weather evenly. A place on the deck is by invitation a lottery only, and highly prized. Many consider the tourism appeal of an interesting old vessel on the city waterfront strong enough that any port city should showcase one or more museum ships. This may even include building a replica ship at great expense.